Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
This is making our country very rich and respected again. 1 year ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country in the world.
President Donald Trump has announced new tariffs on goods from more than 90 countries after his 1st of August deadline to strike trade deals passed. The tariffs mean companies that bring foreign goods into the US will have to pay the taxes to the government, and experts say these companies may pass on costs to consumers. The new tariffs will come into effect on the 7th of August, except for Canada's 35% rate, which started on the 1st of August. Brazil faces one of the highest US tariff rates in the world, with a 50% rate on most goods. Negotiations are still underway with China, as Beijing and Washington have agreed to hold off until the 12th of August. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, says he and the US ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, spent more than 5 hours inside Gaza earlier. The pair visited an aid distribution site in Rafah in Gaza's south. Posting photos on social media, he said the purpose of the visit was to give the president a clear understanding of the humanitarian situation and help craft a plan to deliver food and medical aid to the people of Gaza.
The special envoy and the ambassador will brief the president immediately after their visit to approve a final plan for food and aid distribution into the region, and we will provide more details for all of you once that plan is approved and agreed on by the President of the United States.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for stronger international sanctions on Russia after a deadly attack on Kyiv killed at least 31 people. Zelensky said 5 children, the youngest aged 2, were among the dead and 159 people had been wounded in the assault on Thursday. Kyiv observed a day of mourning after the attack on the capital collapsed an apartment block and damaged a hospital, school, nursery and university. Pakistan has sentenced to prison 108 members of jailed ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan's party for their involvement in protests against the military in 2023. Violent protests erupted nationwide after security forces arrested Khan during his court appearance on corruption charges. Authorities have already handed down dozens of sentences in the last 2 years, but these convictions, which include a 10-year term for the opposition leader Omar Ayub Khan, deal a major blow to Khan's PTI party. Severe storms and flooding hitting areas of the East Coast have prompted a state of emergency across New York and New Jersey. Video shows rainwaters sweeping into subway systems and overwhelming roads. New York's governor is urging all residents to stay vigilant, stay informed and use caution. Airports in New York, New Jersey and Philadelphia have reported significant flight delays and cancellations. A total of almost 50 million people in the US are under flood watches. The White House has announced plans to build a $200 million new ballroom, fulfilling an often repeated desire of the US President Donald Trump. The new ballroom will be built alongside a modernized East Wing of the White House, which currently houses the offices of First Lady Melania Trump and other key White House posts. The money will be donated directly by Mr. Trump and other so far anonymous donors, with the work beginning in September.
They've wanted a ballroom at the White House for more than 150 years, but there's never been a president that was good at ballrooms. I'm really good. When it rains, it's a disaster. People are slopping down to the tent. It's not a pretty sight. The women with their lovely evening gowns, all of their hair all done, and they're a mess.
Listen, I'm happy to eat my cheeseburger at my desk. I don't need a $200 million ballroom to eat it in.
And dubbed the world's oldest baby, Thaddeus Daniel Pierce has been born in the US from an embryo that had been stored for just over 30 years. The embryo was one of those created and frozen by Linda Archard in 1994 through in vitro fertilization. Years later, these embryos were donated to Lindsay and Tim Pierce. It proves that old cryopreservation techniques still work, while also reviving the ethical, religious and emotional debates surrounding embryo donation. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.